it's Di here from Di's Den, and welcome to another episode from me. This week we're going to make this card. It's called a gift box card. Now, as you can see, the box is actually stuck to the card. My lid's not going in there very well at the moment. I don't know what has going on with that. I think it's been used too many times. But we're not going to put this gift card holder on the front. This is not a gift card. It's a card for a specialist appointment. But this will hold one of these. Isn't that cute? It will fit in this box just perfectly, like so. So, what a lovely idea. So I thought, because I've made this one as a female card, because I did this for my colour creation blog hop, which goes live on the 5th of, which went live, I should say, excuse me, went live on the 5th of October. But I'm going to do this in a man's card, because I just thought with a bottle of scotch in it, it'd be really lovely. But as I say, I'm not putting this gift card holder on it, because I'm actually going to do this card again later, and the later version will be a bigger card, so I'll put a gift card holder on it for that. Okay, so I'm going to show you what we're going to be using. We're going to be using this set called Here's All That, and this comes with these beautiful dies that go around all of these items. This one, that one. It's just absolutely gorgeous. So I thought I would like to do this one. Oh, let me get that back in there. But I'm going to use just this one here that says Every Day With You Is Another Adventure, which I've got on this block here, and I'm going to stamp it in Early Espresso. This comes with some beautiful papers, which I've got here. Oops. And I will show you these. These are lovely and browns and oh gosh, rusty colours and like light greys, and this one's got like cars and bikes and that on it. Can't see very well. This has got I don't know what you call that pattern, I forget. I will remember one of these days, but I'm not a big fan of that pattern as a, but you can see shirts done in that. This is the one we're going to be using, and then it comes with 2 pages of toppers, which I'm not going to pull out, but we are using these 2 toppers here, which I've got. This combi van and this one that says Hope Your Day Is a Grand Adventure. Now I know this is upside down, but I'm not going to turn it around and trying to play with it. Okay, so that's what we're going to be using. So I've got all my pieces cut out here. So let me tell you what you need. You need a card base that measures 9 by 7.5 inches. For the back of the card, which I didn't show you, the back of the card is just like this, so you can actually write on it. You might have to put a little something down here or lean it off the end of the table, or before you put this together you can always do your writing on there, but if not, just write, you know, pop a block underneath it and then sit there and write. It'll be easy. Okay, so let's pop that in there. Let's pop that out of the way. So for the back of the card we need a piece that measures 4 3/4 by 4 1/4 and 4 1/2 by 4. For the front part of my card we need a piece that measures 3 1/2 by 4 1/4 and 3 1/4 by 4. Then we need 3 pieces that measure 4 1/4 by 1 inch and 3 pieces that measure 4 by 3/4 of an inch. And then for the top of the box, for the lid, we need a piece that measures 1 inch by 1 inch and 3/4 by 3/4. And these are my toppers that I'm going to put on the front of my card. So let's pop them out of the way so we don't lose them, and we will start with this piece here. Okay, so I'm going to bring in my scoreboard, and we're going to score this on the long side at 1/4 of an inch, and making sure that we use the small end because we are using card. 1/4 inch, and then 1 1/2 inches, and 2 3/4 inches, 4 inches, and 5¼ inches. Now the 5¼ inch mark is a guideline, so we don't need to make that very, very deep at all. Okay, so now we're going to turn it onto the short side, and we're going to score this at 1¼ inches, 5¾ inches, and 7 inches. Oops, 7 inches. Okay, that looks a bit like it's gone a bit wonky on that side, doesn't it? Luckily, 7½. And that's 7½. That doesn't matter if it is looking a bit wonky there, because we're going to cut that away. Okay, so we're going to do some cutting, and we're going to do that before we do our folding and burnishing, only because it's easier. So we're going to, on this tiny little 1/4 inch mark, we're going to start at the bottom, and we're going to cut up to the first score line and notch it off like so. And we're going to do the same on the other end, but we're going to notch it, and we're going to cut these 2 rectangles off on this end. Okay. Now what we're going to do is, along this bottom edges, we're going to cut up to the first score line on all 4 of them. And we're going to turn it over, and we're going to cut away this rectangle down to this score line, the 5¼ inch score line. Making sure we cut the score line away, as it makes it a little bit neater. Right. So once we've done that, we're going to turn it around so that our 4 little flaps are at the bottom, or at the top rather, and we're going to cut away this large section and the next section along. So down to the, not this 5¼ inch score line, that's the 4 inch score line there. So we're going to, on that 4 inch score line, we're going to cut there, and we're going to cut that piece right away, right along this piece here, like so. Then we're going to cut down all of these, and we're going to then pop this one out of the way, this middle one out of the way. And for me, I like to measure it, but that's just me. And I didn't bring a pencil over here, so I will just use this thing. This measures 1 3/4 inches, so about 3/4 of an inch down. I'll just make a mark on that one, and again on this one, because I'm going to cut that away down to that mark that I've made. Only because I like mine to be even, but that's just me. You can eyeball it if you wish. So that is our pieces. We're now going to fold and burnish, but we're not folding and burnishing this line here at all, this 5¼ inch score line. That is just a line there for a guide. So we're going to fold and burnish all the other score lines. We won't need to do that last one. That one there we won't need to do. So then we're going to fold and burnish all of these ones down like so. And all of these ones up the other end. Making sure that they're nice and square. Because if they're nice and square, the box will be nice and square. Okay, so then we're going to just bring in our corner rounder, and I've got a little one here, and I'm going to pull round the corners on this tab here. This is optional. If you don't have a corner rounder, you can always just taper it a tiny bit. So that's our main box done. So now what we're going to do is we're going to turn it around this way, because this, I've got this going this way. So my box is going to open on the opposite side this time. So it's up to you, or we can actually just turn it, but I'm going to let my box open on the opposite side this time. So just be aware of that. If you've got your box here, that which way you fold it. If you want your box to be opening on your left hand side, fold it the opposite way to what I just did. But I'm not going to be messing around with that. So I'm going to lay this flat like this. No, this way. Because that's going to come around there, like so. So I'm going to lay this flat like this, and I'm going to put on my panels on here. So I'm going to glue these all together. You know what? No, I'm not. I'm going to refold it. I'm sitting here with a pin in my mouth. Did you know that? So I will pop these in here. Like so. And this one onto this one. And I'm actually going to refold this the opposite way, because I really do want my box to open the other side. So it's not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. It's not like there's a right way and a wrong way to the cardstock. Okay, so just making sure once again that these are nice and square, because you don't want them to be. If they're nice and square, the box will sit together nice and squarely. Squarely. I've never heard that word before. Okay, so now we've got our box going the correct way, which is around like this, on this side here. We're going to open these pieces up, and we're going to pop these panels here onto the side. Now I cut these all out of one piece of card straight across, and I think that was the way they went. Nope. Nope. Oh, must be that way. That's it. So they go right around in a a square. So I'm going to lay them on and glue them onto those panels there, like so. As I say, if you've did what I did the first time around and you want yours to be on the right hand side, that's fine. I just thought to put it on the left hand side. But if like me, you do it the wrong way round, it's quite easily to change it. Okay, so that's my panels on there, and I will pop my little piece onto the top of the lid, making sure I get my picture up the right way, which is that way up. No, it's not. His wheels are upside down. That was very clever, weren't they? That's better. His wheels are around the right way now. Okay, so now we're going to pop glue along this section here, this tab. And we want it to be a fair bit of glue on there, because we really do want this to glue down nicely. So, and the best way to do this is to bring it over, fold that in, and right over to that line there, that score line that we didn't do. So I find it easier just to bring that over and fold it down like so, because that will be on that score line there. So I'm going to squish that down for a bit, and once you lift that up, which mine's not going to lift up at the moment, come on, what's the matter with the glue today? It's not a nice day out there, and some of these glues don't like the cooler weather. Okay, thank you. My box is sticking together a bit where it shouldn't do. So that's my box. We will let that sit for a moment. While that's sitting and drying, we will actually put that out of the way, do our little bit of stamping on this piece here, which I'm just going to stamp. And I might actually stamp, looking at this picture, it's got like, I was going to say hospital corners, but it's not hospital corners, it's photograph corners. So let's pop that off of there, pop the photograph corner onto these, and I might just stamp these into the corner of the, like so. Just to give it a little bit of something more. What do you reckon? They look alright, don't they? Yeah, I think I like that. That just gives it that older look. Alright, so now we're going to stamp our saying, making sure that I get my words up the correct way onto this piece. Oh yes, that has come out just beautifully in the middle there. I absolutely love that, the way that's turned out with those corners as well. So now we're going to just glue this to this piece. Okay, and then we're bringing our box, which is now stuck down nicely, but we're going to leave it flat for a moment because it's just easier, and making sure that this flap here with the 3 pieces, not the 4 pieces, is at the top, so that you know that you put this piece on the correct way around. And then we'll glue this piece to this side. And that's why we don't need to worry about scoring that last score line. It was just there as a guide for this here. If you don't want to put that score line in, that's fine. There is no, oh, well, you have to have it there, because if you've squared your box up, you really wouldn't have a problem with that. So it's really an optional line. Now we're going to pop our piece on the front, like so. I'm going to just pop my pin, which I've not got in my mouth at the moment, thank goodness, in my glue because of the weather. Get in the glue there, come on, that's it. Okay, and I'm going to just pop my bits on the front. Now, I don't know whether I'm going to put it that way or that way. Which way do you think? So let's pop me dimensions on the back. Dimensionals on the back. I keep saying dimensions, don't I? I guess they are dimensions, but across the top there I'm going to use this piece here. I don't like to waste this, and I did get asked by somebody, do I use these pieces? Yes, I do use these pieces. Okay, so now we can see. Oh yes, look, I'm going to put it on an angle like that too. I think that's the way to go. That's my personal choice. There's my car. Okay, combi van. So, okay, so now we've got this. What we're going to do is we're going to start with our side pieces. We're going to push. I'll need some glue again now. I'm pushing in my left side first, just a little bit of glue on there, right side over, a little bit more glue on there, the back over, and then a lot of glue, or not a lot of glue, but more glue on the other piece, the last piece, and bring the front over. Let me pop the lid back in there, the pin back in there again. Okay, so by doing that, we get a nice curve on the front. I'm going to just pop this down here like so. And then we can then pop our small bottle in there, and it fits in beautifully. These look like they need a little bit of trimming, which is something that you will need to work out as you go. If you're going to do one side, best to do the other as well. My diagram doesn't show this, so that I made myself. So let's pop those off, pop my bottle back in there, and then my lid will fold down in there beautifully. So it will, if I get right in that corner where I'm supposed to be. Thank you. I don't know, sometimes I just don't know my own self. This is not going to go in here. Come on, there we go. Nope. I think I'm going to have to just trim a teensy bit off of this corner too. That's it. It's probably because that's where the join is. So, giving myself a bit of persuasion here. There we go. We've got him in there beautifully. And that's our box for today. Box card. It's a little bit heavy, but I'll tell you what, I really like it. I think it's gorgeous, and that's my original one. As I say, I'm going to do this onto I've got a bigger size of this, which holds chocolates, which I'm going to do in a few weeks, and it will probably be a Christmas version because we're getting close to Christmas. But I really enjoyed making this one as a mail card, and I think it just actually looks gorgeous. As I say, I wouldn't buy these bottles too often because they are a bit expensive. At $9 for that little bottle against $55 for a 750ml bottle, and this is what, how many mils? 50 mils. I mean, that makes that very expensive if you were to buy, you know, enough to do all of those bottles. But here in South Australia, you get 10 cents back off of this bottle because it is a recyclable bottle. That's one good thing, I guess. But there you go. So that's our project for today. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please leave me a thumbs up. If you like the written tutorial for this, please head over to Diane for Stamping, Crafting and Tutorials on my Facebook group. You will find the link down below here. And I will see you again next week. Bye for now.